Have you ever felt like you're just floating through life without making any meaningful progress? It's as though you have goals and aspirations but can't quite bridge the gap between who you are and who you want to become. This feeling becomes particularly pronounced around New Year's. People worldwide reflect on their habits, vowing to break free from harmful patterns and replace them with positive, life-changing routines. You tell yourself, "This year will be different. I'm finally going to follow through." But how often does this resolve truly last? A few weeks in, motivation fades, routines falter, and you find yourself slipping back into old behaviors. You feel frustrated, wondering why change is so difficult. Despite your best intentions, you're no closer to your vision of success. This raises a fundamental question. How do we make lasting change? How do we escape the cycle of temporary motivation and transform our daily habits into consistent, automatic behaviors that push us toward our goals? These are the very questions James Clear answers in his groundbreaking book, Atomic Habits. Clear's book doesn't rely on platitudes or quick fixes. Instead, it offers a deep dive into the psychology and mechanics of habit formation. He presents a compelling case that small, incremental changes, what he calls atomic habits, can have an outsized impact on our lives over time. Through habit loops, dopamine-driven behavior, environmental design, and other principles, Clear provides a blueprint for creating lasting personal growth. To understand the impact of small changes, imagine an airplane taking off from New York with Los Angeles as its destination. Before takeoff, the pilot makes a tiny adjustment, just a 3-degree change in the plane's heading. At first glance, this adjustment seems negligible, amounting to less than 80 inches of difference. However, as the plane continues flying, this small shift takes it off course. Instead of landing in Los Angeles, the plane ends up near Tijuana, Mexico, hundreds of miles away from its intended destination. This analogy illustrates a simple yet profound truth. Tiny changes in direction can lead to enormous differences in outcome. In the same way, small changes in your habits may seem inconsequential today, but over months or years, they can determine whether you end up achieving your dreams or falling far short of them. James Clear encapsulates this concept perfectly. A slight change in your daily habits can lead your life to a drastically different destination. Unfortunately, many people believe that extraordinary success requires equally extraordinary effort. We often think we need to make monumental leaps, like transforming our diet overnight, running a marathon without prior training, or completely changing our work ethic, in order to achieve meaningful results. While these ideas might sound inspiring, they often set us up for failure. Clear explains that the true secret to success lies in the accumulation of small, nearly imperceptible improvements repeated consistently over time. For instance, consider the math of habit building. Improving by just 1% each day for a year will make you 38 times better by the year's end. Conversely, getting 1% worse each day will leave you almost back at zero. This compounding effect applies to all areas of life, whether it's improving skills, cultivating relationships, or building a healthier lifestyle. Habits act as the invisible architecture of our lives. They either work for us, compounding our efforts into greater achievements, or against us, perpetuating cycles of stress, procrastination, and negative self-talk. Clear emphasizes this idea with a powerful statement. Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. Yet, when we attempt to form new habits or change existing ones, we expect progress to follow a straight, upward trajectory. We imagine ourselves improving steadily each day until we reach our goals. But in reality, progress often begins in a much less visible way. Early on, the changes we make can feel insignificant. For example, going to the gym once or twice doesn't yield immediate physical results. Cutting out sugar for a week doesn't lead to dramatic weight loss. Practicing a new skill for a few days doesn't make you an expert. Clear refers to this initial stage as the valley of disappointment. It's the point where you've been putting in effort but haven't yet seen results. This is where most people abandon their efforts, believing their hard work isn't paying off. They revert to their old routines, missing out on the compounding benefits that would have come with continued consistency. What's happening in this phase isn't failure, it's latency. Habits take time to bear fruit. Think of bamboo growth. For years, the plant develops a complex root system underground, invisible to the eye. Then, seemingly overnight, it shoots up several feet. This is the power of delayed results. The most significant outcomes of habit building, whether it's financial independence, physical fitness, or mastery of a skill, often come after a period of quiet, unseen growth. Clear argues that the key to breaking free from the frustration of delayed results is shifting your focus from outcomes to systems. Traditionally, we're taught to set specific, measurable goals as the foundation for success. While goals can help provide direction, they often fail to sustain long-term motivation.
Why?
Because goals only represent the end result. They don't address the processes that drive daily progress. Clear explains, goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are best for making progress. A goal might be to run a marathon, but without a training schedule, you'll never make it to the finish line. A goal might be to write a novel, but without a habit of writing daily, the idea will never leave your head. Goals alone create a false dichotomy. You either succeed by achieving them or fail by falling short. In contrast, systems focus on the process, what you do consistently to reach your destination. By shifting your attention to building effective systems, you're no longer reliant on motivation alone. Instead, you create a structure that makes success inevitable. When we think about achieving our dreams, we often envision clear, specific goals. Lose 20 pounds, save a certain amount of money, get a promotion, or run a marathon. These goals, while motivating, can be misleading. James Clear challenges this traditional approach, arguing that focusing solely on outcomes is the wrong way to achieve sustainable success. Instead, he advocates for building systems, well-structured processes that make progress a natural part of your daily life. At first glance, this might seem counterintuitive. Isn't the whole point of setting goals to know what you're working toward? Clear agrees that goals have value as a guiding star, providing direction and helping us decide where to focus our efforts. But he points out several flaws in a goal-centered approach. 1. Goals don't differentiate success. 2. Goals provide temporary results. Achieving a goal often leads to a fleeting sense of accomplishment. Once the goal is met, what happens next? If your goal is to run a marathon, you might train rigorously for months. But after the race is over, you may lose motivation and fall back into inactivity. Without a system to maintain the habit, progress stalls. 3. Goals create a binary mindset. Viewing success as achieving the goal and failure as falling short can be demotivating. Even if you're making steady progress, failing to meet the goal can make you feel like you've failed entirely. In contrast, systems focus on the how, the processes and routines that lead to consistent progress. Clear emphasizes, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. A solid system doesn't rely on willpower or motivation alone. It creates an environment where positive habits flourish naturally. Take, for example, the difference between someone who sets a goal to write a book and someone who builds a writing system. The goal-oriented person might write sporadically, trying to make big progress during bursts of inspiration. In contrast, the system-oriented person develops a daily writing habit, committing to 500 words every morning, rain or shine. Over time, the system ensures steady progress, while the goal alone offers no guarantee of follow-through. Clear's approach to systems is rooted in the science of habits. Habits are essentially automatic behaviors triggered by specific cues. They form through a continuous feedback loop with 4 key stages. 1. Cue, the trigger that prompts the behavior. 2. Craving, the desire or motivation to act. 3. Response, the action you take in response to the cue. 4. Reward, the benefit you gain, which reinforces the habit. For example, let's say you want to create a habit of going for a run every morning. The cue might be your alarm going off at 6 a.m. The craving is the desire to feel energized and accomplished. The response is putting on your running shoes and heading out the door. The reward is the endorphin rush and the satisfaction of knowing you started your day on a positive note. Over time, the association between the cue and the reward strengthens, making the habit more automatic. However, this same loop can work against you. Imagine sitting at your desk, struggling with a challenging task. The cue is the discomfort of feeling stuck. The craving is the desire to escape that discomfort. The response might be opening social media or watching a video. The reward is temporary relief from frustration. While the habit provides short-term satisfaction, it sabotages your long-term productivity. To build positive habits and break negative ones, Clear introduces his 4 laws of behavior change, which serve as a practical framework for shaping your actions. These laws are: 1. Make it obvious. Design your environment to make the cues for good habits impossible to miss. For instance, if you want to read more, leave a book on your pillow as a visual reminder to read before bed. Conversely, make the cues for bad habits less visible. For example, by keeping junk food out of sight. 2. Make it attractive. Increase the appeal of good habits by associating them with enjoyable activities. This technique, known as temptation bundling, pairs something you need to do with something you want to do. For instance, listen to your favorite podcast only when exercising. 3. Make it easy. Reduce friction for good habits by simplifying the process. Start small with the 2-minute rule, which encourages you to scale down habits to manageable steps. If you want to meditate, begin with just 2 minutes a day. Similarly, increase friction for bad habits by adding barriers, like deleting distracting apps from your phone. 4. Make it satisfying. Reward yourself immediately after completing a habit to reinforce it. Use a habit tracker or give yourself a small treat to celebrate milestones. The key to applying these laws effectively is recognizing the power of environment and identity. Clear explains that we're far more influenced by our surroundings than we realize. Motivation and willpower alone are unreliable. Your environment plays a far greater role in shaping behavior. For instance, if you want to drink more water, place water bottles in places you frequent, like your desk or kitchen counter. If you want to eat healthier, store nutritious snacks at eye level in the fridge and pantry. On the flip side, eliminate cues for bad habits. Keep your phone in another room while working or avoid buying unhealthy snacks altogether. But perhaps the most transformative aspect of Clear's philosophy is the emphasis on identity. Instead of focusing solely on outcomes, e.g., losing weight, earning more money, think about the type of person you want to become. Every habit you perform is a vote for the kind of identity you wish to embody. For example, if you want to be a writer, simply writing a paragraph every day reinforces that identity. If you want to be a runner, lacing up your shoes and heading out for a jog, even a short one, cements your belief in yourself as a runner. By shifting your focus from achieving specific goals to building systems aligned with your identity, you create a sustainable path to growth. This approach allows you to enjoy the process rather than constantly chasing the end result. James Clear's 4 laws of behavior change: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying, are not just abstract principles. They are actionable steps that allow anyone to reshape their habits and create sustainable change. These laws work together to simplify the process of building good habits while making it harder to fall into negative patterns. Let's explore how these concepts can transform your daily life. 1. Make it obvious. Designing your environment for success. The first step to building better habits is becoming aware of your current ones. Many of our habits are so ingrained in our routines that we barely notice them. Clear suggests creating a habit scorecard to bring these behaviors to light. Write down everything you do throughout the day, from the moment you wake up to when you go to bed. Then, categorize each habit as positive, plus symbol, negative, minus symbol, or neutral, equal sign. Once you've identified your habits, you can start designing your environment to encourage positive actions and discourage negative ones. This process is called priming. For example, if you want to exercise in the morning, lay out your workout clothes and shoes the night before. If you want to eat healthier, place fruits and vegetables in prominent spots in your fridge or kitchen. On the flip side, make bad habits less accessible. If you want to stop binge-watching TV, unplug the television or remove the remote from easy reach. Clear emphasizes the importance of clarity in forming new habits. Vague intentions like "I'll eat better" or "I'll exercise more" rarely lead to action. Instead, use the formula, "I will specific behavior at time in location." For example, I will meditate for 5 minutes at 7 a.m. in the living room. This level of specificity creates a clear plan, making it more likely that you'll follow through. Another powerful strategy is habit stacking, where you link a new habit to an existing one. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will do 5 push-ups. This method uses the momentum of your existing routines to help you establish new ones. 2. Make it attractive, leveraging motivation and cravings. To ensure you stick with a habit, it needs to feel rewarding. This is where the concept of dopamine spikes comes into play. Dopamine, the brain's feel-good neurotransmitter, isn't just released when you experience pleasure. It's also released when you anticipate it. This is why cravings drive action. Gamblers, for example, feel a rush of dopamine before placing a bet, not after winning. Clear suggests using temptation bundling to make habits more appealing. Pair something you need to do with something you want to do. For instance, only allow yourself to watch your favorite show while exercising or listen to a podcast while cleaning. This strategy transforms mundane tasks into enjoyable experiences, increasing the likelihood of repetition. Social influence also plays a significant role in habit formation. Surround yourself with people who embody the habits you want to adopt. If you want to exercise regularly, join a fitness group. If you want to read more, become part of a book club. We're wired to conform to the behaviors of those around us, making group norms a powerful motivator. Understanding the deeper motivations behind our habits is also crucial. Most habits are rooted in primal needs: conserving energy, finding love, gaining social acceptance, or reducing uncertainty. Social media, for example, satisfies our desire for connection and recognition, while junk food appeals to our evolutionary craving for high-calorie sustenance. By connecting good habits to these primal needs, you can make them more attractive. 3. Make it easy, reducing friction and starting small. One of the biggest barriers to building habits is friction, the effort required to perform a behavior. Clear solution is simple: reduce the friction for good habits and increase it for bad ones. For example, if you want to exercise, choose a gym close to your home or workplace to eliminate excuses. If you want to drink more water, keep a bottle within arm's reach at all times. Conversely, if you want to stop eating junk food, store it in hard-to-reach places or don't buy it at all. Clear also introduces the 2-minute rule, which encourages you to start habits so small that they feel effortless. If your goal is to read more, commit to reading just 1 page. If you want to meditate, start with 2 minutes. These small actions lower the barrier to entry, making it easier to build momentum. Over time, these gateway habits can grow into more substantial routines. 4. Make it satisfying, reinforcing positive behaviors. The final step in habit formation is ensuring the behavior feels rewarding. The more satisfying a habit is, the more likely you are to repeat it. Use immediate rewards to reinforce good habits. For example, track your progress with a habit tracker, marking off each day you complete the behavior. Seeing your streak grow creates a sense of accomplishment and motivates you to keep going. On the flip side, make bad habits unsatisfying by adding immediate consequences. For instance, enlist an accountability partner who will hold you responsible for your actions. If you skip a workout, you might owe them $10. These small penalties make undesirable behaviors less appealing. Clear also highlights the importance of identity in maintaining habits. Instead of focusing solely on outcomes, e.g., losing weight, earning more money, think about the kind of person you want to become. Every action you take is a vote for that identity. For example, every time you exercise, you reinforce the belief that you're a healthy person. Every time you write, you strengthen your identity as a writer. Transforming your life with atomic habits. Clear's 4 laws of behavior change provide a roadmap for transforming your habits and, ultimately, your life. By focusing on small, manageable actions and aligning them with your identity, you create a system where success becomes inevitable. But transformation isn't just about building good habits, it's also about eliminating bad ones. By reversing the laws, making bad habits invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying, you can remove behaviors that hold you back. The beauty of atomic habits lies in its practicality. It's not about overhauling your life overnight, but making small, consistent changes that compound over time. Whether your goal is to improve your health, advance your career, or deepen your relationships, Clear's framework gives you the tools to succeed. In the end, the journey isn't just about achieving goals, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. Subscribe now if you love improving your life, day by day. See you soon in a new video to make your life better.